Pod with Meg. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my podcast, Pod with Meg. Get it? Me? I'm your host, Meghane Lex, and today I'll be having a very special woman who's going to tell us about health and wellness. And without further ado, let me please introduce Amita.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Meg. And I think you're too young to be talking about the topic we're going to talk about.
You're never too young for knowledge.
Okay. I'm just looking at you. I don't know how old you look, like you're barely in your 20s or something.
I'm 25.
See, I guessed it right. But I think your audience is probably the same age group as you. So I think we could talk about younger women. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to scare all of you that what you're going to get in store when you get older.
Oh my gosh. Well, Amita, please tell me, where are you from and what inspired you to be a holistic wellness advocate?
Yeah, so I grew up in India. I came here to do my master's, but I started my perimenopause journey when I was 40. That was about a decade back. And I went through a lot of ups and downs. I think your mom's probably going through that, or she's already been through this whole journey. Mm-hmm. And typically, you end up kind of keeping quiet. And so I wanted to do something to uplift women, to empower women, even the younger women. They have PMS, they don't say anything. And we say, oh, that's that type of the month, or you have your bad mood, right? That's kind of the attitude we get. And as we get older, it's a similar kind of a thing, So I wanted to do something holistic wellness for women, younger women, when they go through their PMS issues, then PCOS, and then going to the postnatal, perimenopause, postmenopause, everything with P.
Mm-hmm. And what was the first, you mentioned one of the first P's?
PMS.
Premenstrual
syndrome. So, when the girls are getting the periods and they start getting mood swings and they sometimes get period pain and all those, it's happening because of the hormonal shifts. The younger girls, I'm talking about that. PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome. That's imbalance. Mm-hmm. And then perimenopause is basically your periods stop at age 51, 52. And before that, approximately 10 years before that, women start going through this transition, and it can last up to 10 years. And that is called perimenopause. And those 10 years, you can have mood swings, all kind of strange things happening to you. Mm-hmm. And then after that is postmenopause. That's older women, typically 55 years or older. Then they can have other issues like diabetes or heart health, even onset of a little bit of dementia, cancer, maybe osteoporosis. So all this is a woman's journey, right? When they're starting younger. So it's very important for younger women like you to understand, the conveyor belt that you are on and what it's going to, mean for you, and how important it is when you are younger to embrace a holistic lifestyle. That's the thing.
Yes, definitely. I completely agree. Being holistic and not depending on exterior factors that are unnatural to heal you, it's so important. Can you kind of describe, you said PCOS is imbalance. I'm embarrassed to say this, but I've been scared to get tested for PCOS. I'm not sure if there's a test, but I was getting my makeup done about a month ago, and one of the ladies, she's really into skincare. She told me that some of my cystic acne reminded her of PCOS. So could you tell me a little bit more about that?
So I don't know what your situation could be. There's PCOS and PCOD. So one of them is based on lifestyle and one of them is genetic, or, you need a medical intervention. So you should get tested. Typically the symptoms would be acne here, maybe hair growth, on the face. And that's not normal for a woman to start getting hair on the face, right? Those are some of the symptoms. And I think it's better to get yourself tested. Basically, polycystic ovarian syndrome, you get multiple cysts in your ovaries, and sometimes the periods can be irregular. So I don't know what your periods are. I'm not a medical doctor or a medical practitioner, but you need to make sure your periods are regular or not. I don't know. Right? So you need to take into account all these things. And I think you should get yourself tested to make sure that you don't have PCOS. And some of it can also be lifestyle driven. And also a lot of girls actually end up putting on weight. You don't look at all. You look in great shape. So maybe you don't have it. Maybe the acne could be part of an imbalance that's happening in your body, or an inflammation also,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because a lot of younger girls and even boys, they get acne on the face, and that's where the hormonal shifts are happening, and hormonal imbalance could be happening, and it comes out on the skin, right?
Mm-hmm.
There could be multiple reasons. So, like I said, there could be hormonal imbalance. It could be inflammation inside the body. It could be sometimes, we women use makeup a little bit more than men, and it could be endocrinal disruptors, and that can also imbalance your internal hormones. So, it doesn't hurt for someone like you to get your blood work or some things done to just rule out the fact that you have something, right? It's not
Mm-hmm.
a bad idea.
Yes.
A lot of it is, like I said, you can use holistic therapies to reverse. It's not that you can't manage it or you can't reverse it. There are a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And then as women get older, like 35 plus or somewhere around there, they start having irregular periods because then they're entering into the perimenopause journey, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, and it makes a lot of sense. And if you're watching, do not listen to me. Don't be like me. Get tested. I will definitely book my appointment later today. What would you tell me are some of your own experiences that kind of led you into being holistic?
So when I was young, like younger, I should say that, I think around your age or maybe younger than that, I actually had jaundice. And it's not a good idea if you're like in your 20s to get jaundice, right? And my liver was always weak. I always had a weak liver, and my labs are always out inflamed, so to speak, inflamed liver, not fatty liver, but inflamed liver. So I had to embrace a holistic lifestyle. And the only way I could do that, that's what I was told at that time, was through nutrition, through diet and lifestyle. So early on, at a very young age, I started managing this whole situation of the liver, which I'm just talking about, through incorporating a holistic lifestyle, meaning eating really well, taking care of myself, making sure exercise and all that. And I used to get a lot of chronic fatigue when I was in my 30s. It's really bad. I had two young kids at that time, and I had a lot of problem in waking up in the morning. I could barely wake up, and if I would wake up, my face would be all swollen, and I had a chronic fatigue for almost a decade, and it was unexplainable. I must have gotten so many blood tests, so many things done. Nobody could say, no, you're perfectly healthy. We don't know what's wrong with you. The only thing that was inflamed was the liver panels, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that whole experience of me having young kids in my 30s, and I was kind of scared. I said, oh my God, what if something happens to me? Who's going to take care of my little. So
Aww.
that, so all these experiences, those little small experiences that I had, I started researching a lot at that time into herbs, into spices, into different supplements, into different acupuncture, some Ayurvedic therapies, just to keep myself fit, because medicine would not suit me. So that was a little bit of my journey.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went into my 40s, early 40s, and then I started having perimenopause, which I was just explaining earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, oh my God, it was so bad. It was like hot flashes. I couldn't sleep at night. And again, my swollen, all those things. So there were 20s, right? Which I said earlier, my jaundice. 30s was my chronic fatigue, and my 40s was perimenopause. And I was like, oh, so every decade I had all these experiences that got me deeper into this whole holistic lifestyle.
Yes. And I'm so glad that you found an approach that works for you and what seems natural. What do you think are some of the best supplements or ways that women can stay healthy?
So, yeah, there are so many supplements, right? In today's day and age, you can go anywhere to Costco or anything. So I started experimenting with supplements. I'll be honest with you. I started doing, God knows, like 10 supplements a day, all kind of things you can think of.
Yes.
Oh my God. But that's not a good idea. I'll tell you why. Because you need to take the supplements that work for your body, not start taking arbitrary supplements. Right? That's not a good idea. And like I said, I did all kind of strange supplements, from turmeric to this and that, all those things. So that strategy is not a good idea. But most of the women, they say we are like vitamin D is not at sufficient level because we sometimes don't get enough sun. They talk about that. As women get older, they should probably have biotin for hair, collagen, right? The collagen keeps going down, calcium, magnesium. There's so many things that women should do. But I highly recommend, and that's what I tell everyone, and I got myself tested again, a thorough blood panel, and then I'm taking the supplements that works for me, and that's what everyone should do.
Okay. Yeah. I personally, the only supplements I really take are zinc. And I
Okay.
just do that just to like try not to get sick, keep my immune system. Is that a good
Yeah.
supplement to take every day or?
Yeah, like I said, I'm not a medical doctor, but zinc is pretty good for PCOS. By the way, the other
Oh.
thing women can do is some of the simple herbs and spices, and I'll share with you. Like anti-inflammatory, like ginger and turmeric, right? So you buy a natural root of ginger and turmeric, and that's what I do every morning. And I cut it up and I put it in the boiling water, and I put some cumin seeds, some carom seeds, some fennel seeds. So they call CCFT. And then I put a little bit of a lemon and a honey and these two herbs that I talked about, ginger root and turmeric root. And it's an anti-inflammatory. All these seeds are really great for you, and it helps cleanse your gut. So
Mm.
these kind of things, right? We should do that on a regular basis. We have so much in our kitchen that we should use that. For example, the other one could be fenugreek. Fenugreek is
Mm.
great for even PCOS. You soak it up. You can get those little seeds. Fenugreek. I don't know if you're familiar with fenugreek.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you can soak it up overnight, and in the morning you can have that. And it's really great for PCOS, as an example. So I personally use a lot of these herbs and spices in my cooking. Like I would use cumin powder, I would use coriander powder, I would use cinnamon and nutmeg, fenugreek I just talked about a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can use a lot of these spices, healing spices on a day-to-day basis so that you are incorporating that in your cooking. So that's would be my recommendation, on a daily basis, and even incorporating some of the seeds, right? Seed cycling is also very good for PCOS or controlling PCOS. Like for example, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, flax seeds, chia seeds, sesame seeds, all these seeds. When you're younger, they talk about seed cycling based on your menstrual cycle, but when you're a little bit like my age, then you can just mix up all the seeds, or you can go according to your menstrual cycle and then have those seeds, and it helps to balance the hormones. There's a lot of data behind flax seeds. I have that every single day, flax seeds that are ground, and you sprinkle it like in the morning on your oatmeal. So I sprinkle a little bit of my flax seeds, and I'll put a little bit of my pumpkin and my sunflower, right? Those are great. And a little bit of nuts, that's healthy fats. So these are some of the things women should not diet. They should not go on a yo-yo diet. That's bad for us. Really, really bad for us, because we hear so many younger women going through eating disorders just to maintain their figure. It really actually can be counterproductive as you get older, because you're kind of starving your body from the nutrients that can lead to a lot of problems as you get older.
Yes. And I love how you said that people should really not starve themselves. I know people do a lot of like spiritual cleanses and fasts, but I think that's so different than intentionally robbing your body of nutrients. I think that's a really good point to make, because there are so many healthy foods that taste good and will make you feel good as well. You also mentioned that you have 2 kids. Could you tell me a little bit? Because I have a lot of friends actually who are scared of pregnancy. Can you can you
Oh
kind
my
of
God.
can you kind of tell me about your experience and what you would say to someone who is scared and how to
Oh,
kind
the
of.
pregnancy, they're scared? Wow.
Yes. Yeah, I know. I can't really. I want to have 4 kids.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, you know what? I think there's nothing to get scared in today's day and age. There's so many things. It's scared in the sense, I'll tell you what, getting the kid out is little bit of not a scary part, not as scary. It can be painful, but you can take, the epidural, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the scary part. But I'll tell you what is more scary is raising the baby. That would be scared of more of that than giving birth to a baby.
Wow. That's really funny.
Yeah. I mean, it's scary in the sense, yeah, you need to be careful when you're pregnant. You want to make sure you're nourishing yourself and the baby. So all those things are important. And, the other data point on the pregnancy, which you're bringing out a really good point. In today's day and age, a placenta of a woman has 170 toxins in today's day and age. Can you believe that?
Wow. That's crazy.
So actually, before women get pregnant, they need to make sure their body is prepared and toxin free. I think that's what women need to be very, very cognizant of, the fact that they have so many toxins that go into their placenta, and that's eventually going to the baby, and then the baby now comes out, and the baby can have, you see so many young little kids nowadays having allergies and all kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it, there's a research that says that 170 toxins is coming in the placenta. So women have to prepare their body before they think of getting pregnant. I think that is the part that women should really focus on, to cleanse themselves, to make sure that they don't have toxins inside the body. This is like crazy.
Yeah, that's a very great point. And this year I actually did 75 hard. I don't know if you know what that is. It's basically 75 days of working out twice a day, indoor, outdoors. I did yoga just back to back. I couldn't always be outside all the time, but I did try to walk outside more, drinking a gallon of water a day, eating healthy, and reading a book. And I feel like I just got so much more in tune with my body. And I was realizing, yeah, when you cleanse your mind and body and soul, like you don't realize how much it also becomes a habit putting toxins in your body. So it's really hard to train yourself and very important to train yourself. But it's a short-term pain for a long-term gain when you really take the time to detox.
Yeah.
And well, I really appreciate your insight. Thank you so, so much. I do want to ask, what would be some advice you would give to the next generation of women wellness advocates?
Yeah, the next generation, I think they should not be keeping quiet. Okay, that's my advice. See, my generation of women, we always kind of sacrificed a lot, and we kept quiet when things like perimenopause I'm talking about. I didn't say anything, and now I'm saying it, and I'm so glad I'm talking about it, right? But your generation, 20-something women are independent, financially independent. You are more empowered than we were at your age. So I think you should take that gift, right? I think it's a blessing and a gift, and take it very seriously, to really not even only empower yourself, but empower other women out there, right? And speak your mind freely. Do not be scared of that someone's judging you. My generation of women, most of them, it doesn't matter which culture and ethnic groups we come from, most of us, I've talked to over 3,000 women in their age group of mid-40s, mid-50s, somewhere over there. They all sacrificed their careers. They all sacrificed a lot of things. They did not say a lot of things. They kept holding on to the feelings, so to speak. But your generation, I think, have the ability and an amazing power to not do that. And your generation, it's free, I think, because all of you are working. In our generation, a lot of women were not working, or when they had kids, they stopped working. So it was a little bit different. Now things are a bit different. So I think you guys have an amazing opportunity to empower so many other younger girls who are following you, and empower yourself by not holding things inside, but bringing it out, having an open communication.
Yes, and you're so right about bringing it out. I always like to say, release this piece. It's always good to speak your truth and let it out rather than keep it inside you. And okay, so I was going to ask you too, what are 1 to 3 words to describe your wellness philosophy?
So investing in yourself, that's my philosophy.
Okay.
Self-care and investing in yourself. Because if we don't invest in ourselves for wellness, we cannot help others. What can you do on an empty can, in the sense like an empty gas tank, so to speak, right? You can only give to someone what you have. And if you don't have the inner peace and inner light that's guiding you and making you happy, you won't be able to give to other people the same thing. So my advice is to invest in yourself as a woman and reinvent, reimagine, rejuvenate, whatever you have to do.
Yes. I was actually telling a friend this earlier. In yoga, we always, at the end, it's like a rebirth. And yeah,
Mhm.
we're just like cells in our bodies. We always have to rejuvenate and rebirth and detox to kind of feel good again. And I
Yeah.
completely agree. Well, I appreciate you so much for joining me today. And your insights really are so helpful. And I hope ladies, gentlemen, whoever is watching can take some nice tips about wellness from this conversation. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
No, I think this is great. What you're doing is great. Reaching out to younger girls, younger women, and really helping them kind of follow a path that would be really good for them as they get older. So thank you.
Yes, well, thank you so much. And once again, invest in yourself, and the world will invest in you. Thank you again. And I
That's a
appreciate
great
you,
one. That's a
right?
great one. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, because you are the energy you attract for sure, and you have great energy. So thank you again, and have
Mhm.
an amazing day or night, evening, whatever time it is where you are. And thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.